It's time now for business with Kate Moody. Kate, good evening. The American pharmaceutical giant Pfizer has confirmed huge sales of its COVID vaccine. Tell us more about this.
Well, that vaccine, of course, was developed with its German startup partner BioNTech. It was the first to receive emergency approval from regulators in the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and it's the vaccine that has been delivered most across the United States so far. That generated $3.5 billion worth of sales in the first 3 months of this year alone. That's nearly a quarter of the pharmaceutical giant's quarterly revenue. It does expect vaccine sales for the rest of the year to continue to grow, nearly doubling its previous estimate and hitting at least $26 billion. Demand is expected to remain strong or durable in at least the short to medium term. Pfizer has already said that a third dose of its vaccine may be required down the line. It's adapting its shots to deal with new emerging variants as well. Now, US and EU regulators are considering whether to approve Pfizer's vaccine for use in children over the age of 12. That decision could come in the coming weeks. And Pfizer has also asked the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for full approval rather than just the emergency green light, which was given in December. That would allow it to market the vaccine directly to consumers.
And what's that I can hear in the distance, perhaps? The closing bell on Wall Street?
You can still hear it across the Atlantic, can't you, Mark? Well, Pfizer shares did rise as much as 3% earlier in the session as those strong results came out, although they closed flat. We saw Wall Street turning mostly lower, the Dow Jones flat, losses of about 2/3 of a percentage point for the S&P 500, nearly 2% for the NASDAQ in its worst session since March. Stocks did drop as the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that interest rates might have to be raised to prevent the U.S. economy from overheating if all of Joe Biden's spending plans are indeed enacted. That's a break with the Federal Reserve, which has said for its part it's not worried about higher inflation. America's trade deficit with China, meanwhile, hit a fresh record high in March as U.S. consumers spent more on foreign-made goods. The major European indices closed sharply lower. We saw the tech sector dragging down trade. The DAX down about 2.5% in Frankfurt. Shares of Pfizer's vaccine partner BioNTech tumbled 13% in Germany, although they are up nearly 90% for the year so far. Shares of French aviation giant Dassault, meanwhile, dropped 3% despite confirming the sale of 30 Rafale fighter jets to Egypt.
Kate Moody with the business, as ever. Thank you very much indeed. Great to see you, Kate, there.